We have to be very brief about this. 3 petitions. What crime has he committed?
Well, something. Is this constitutional matters? Article 41, I think F, joins all of us to do what we must do to protect the
to expose and combat misuse of public property and corruption.
Of the public good. So I think that is useful to go that route. But you see, you said something. Sammy is not a thorn in the flesh of the NPP. He's a thorn in his own flesh. Much of all these clamoring for him one way or the other to be punished, removed and all of that is as a result of his own exaggerations when he was in opposition. The kinds of things he said are the things convicting him now. He's driving all this energy behind all of these things. So I sympathize with him. I hope this matter is dealt with, but nonetheless, we need some clarity. The petitions that they've sent, I think, made some grounds indicating that they want to investigation, or they are putting these petitions for purposes of establishing that there was no misappropriation, okay? And then there's no possible failure of leadership in terms of sanctioning him when the president just cleared him without even investigation. That's unprecedented. All right, for a party that was yelling from the rooftops, saying that people have been clearing, Akufo-Addo has been a clearing agent, they clear without even evidence to give comfort to people that what has happened involves no wrongdoing.
Let's define, let's define clearing here, because I can see the NPP is deliberately trying to find equalization for the clearing agent, tag. What do we mean by clearing? In Akufo-Addo's time, clearing came up as a result of when people were before investigative, bodies, and the president takes a decision otherwise.
No. Clearing is what they have done without evidence. The matters that you're referring to were investigated. So I don't see any clearing. If there's an investigation that suggests you have not done anything wrong and you are there, what is clearing about that?
When you're accused of a crime,
yes, and then
now here, what is the crime he's being accused of?
And it's investigated, and you have found not to have done anything wrong. I don't see any clearing.
What's the crime he's been cleared of? That's what I mean.
Well, that's what the petitions are going to seek for us, to see that there are no possible misappropriation because it's a public officer. It's a question of being sure what has happened involves no wrongdoing because the person holds a public office. So I think that should be encouraged under Article 41. I think we should encourage that. And that's the spirit in which this is happening. But the president...
When you go to the OSP, you're going for corruption related.
Right.
So I'm asking...
But it's the same petition that is gone there.
Yeah, so
the reliefs are not different. It's the same relief that they're seeking to say that we want to understand what has happened, okay? Find out if your office can find out anything about it, but I think the focus is Shraj to be able to get us a picture of what the conduct has been.
When you want to go to Shraj and you go to the police or you go to the OSP, you are likely to stop Shraj.
Well, okay, that's a technical matter I'm not probably disposed to address, but the spirit of the petition really is to be able to understand something, because everybody is in shock. The president just said, oh, let him go. Right? Which is predicted, which is expected. And we're saying that, how do you do that? Here's a president who just recently launched a code of conduct for his people, right? The conduct he has done, though not expressly stated in the code of conduct, but there are elements of it that borders on a public officer acting in a manner he did. So I expected that there must be a language that sends a signal. But what he has done...
Code of conduct is against showing opulence, right?
Yes. So I'm saying that even though it's not explicit, what you see it has the form, the look and feel of it.
The Code of Conduct has sanctions. One of the sanctions include a reprimand. So he's been cautioned. That's a reprimand. Do you understand that?
I don't. I'm just saying that I don't.
So it would mean that the code has been applied.
No, this is just like... That doesn't make any sense. But something, here's what I think we should do as a country. If President Mahama would help all of us, we should seek legislative backing for this code of conduct. So it's law, all right? So that it doesn't fall to his office to say, oh, you are my favorite, so you are my this or that. We are a serious country. If the matter to do with conduct of public officials is one that is key, okay? So if it is such an important matter, why does it become the preserve of the president to determine what sanction? If we should make it law. And I think
No, you know, every company, and you would have worked with company, even in the NPP, you know you have your internal mechanisms.
But he's the president.
Grievance mechanisms. No, wait. So those do not preclude the other national laws, criminal sanctions being applied if you want to undertake internal discipline, right?
So what is it the president is doing with our public money is tricking us, that just like have a code of conduct in name that doesn't amount to anything? You understand? So it means that it's just an exercise in futility. Because if it's just going to be his private thing to, you know, I mean, it doesn't.
So what's the goal? What's the goal for these petitions?
The goal is to find out. Because now you don't know where he got the money from. I don't know. And it's unfair to him for people to assume that he has just gone to take public funds. All right? Let's do an investigation to establish that. I think it's proper for purposes of advancing good governance. I think it's proper. So I think the petitions are in.
So which law says that if you spend how much he spent or whatever we are told, if you spend that money and you're a public officer, you have to be investigated to know where you got that money from?
Well, Samson, you are the lawyer, you can tell me that. But two of the grounds that have been called into question for investigation is to ascertain that there's no possible misappropriation or abuse of public resources. That's legitimate. So if you want to dwell on any law, that's one thing. But
or that he's trading in foreign currency, which our laws prohibit.
That one,
even though he's giving it as a gift, the law says trading includes gifts.
Yeah. So that's one. But I'm interested in the aspect that bothers on the governance, which is to say
a lot
that
of people will be in trouble in that area.
Yeah.
They're the politicians. You know it.
So to be fair to Sammy and to governance, I'm saying that it is proper that these petitions are going, so that we have some clarity that at the end of the day he's done nothing wrong or he's done something wrong, for which reason then we'll come back and press the president to apply the appropriate sanction. This thing he's doing by polishing this thing on dust, we don't like it. His idea of good conduct in public office must be real, must not be facetious, it must not be to just cosmetic, make us feel good.
Thank you.
Must be serious.
So, Prof, you finance and economic matters. People don't know your association with the Advocates for Christ. And I've watched you under that umbrella once, and I was shocked on your attitude to corruption and so on and so forth. What do you say about this one?
I was somewhere.
Apology and caution is not sufficient.
I was somewhere on missions when people were talking about this. So when I got back, I said, wow, this wasn't probably what the president would expect at this early stage and all of that. And so I believe that is quite unsettling, right? And I believe that the president is serious about fighting corruption and all of that, and the signal and the leadership, I think people respect that. I can also understand that. Well, in fact, with Sammy Gyamfi's appointment, when I said no, I felt that this guy wasn't cut out for this sector, because this sector is prone to corruption. This is highly sensitive area. This gold board is like navigating the path. I felt that we needed someone with maturity, with character, to be able to implement that vision in that area. But I'm also open to giving people the benefit of the doubt and all of that. But I think that given the posture of Sammy Gyamfi in the last couple of years and some of the comments, I think it looks more like he has asked for too much in this circumstance and all of that.
The Shraj OSP CID,
I felt like probably
sledgehammer.
Yes, to some extent. I mean, on one hand, I was wondering, trying to understand why the president appointed many of them as acting. I want to believe the president probably has something at the back of his mind that, look, you're on probation, sort of. I'm watching your performance, your behavior, and all of that, and I could come in at any point. But I believe that this
I'm sorry, we have run out of time.